And here we go. Ladies and gentlemen.
Good morning. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Your friendly neighborhood conservative ex-con here. Yes, this guy with the common sense and random shit show. Because you already know it is what it is. Yeah, I'm back on this site. I mean, I might as well. I'm paid up until the 14th, and I'm still on the fence on which one to use. Either the Rumble Studio, which I like very much, and if you're conservative, don't have Rumble app to watch your favorites, shame on you. Download a great app to have. Not getting paid to sponsor it, but I gotta just put it out there. Strumble it. Wow. My face. Streaming on Tres, Rumble, ScrewTube, and Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. Yeah, it's shit. Nice book. Which will probably mute some of my video for whatever reason they choose to do so. You know what the... Yeah. This is how I am every morning. If this is the first time you've ever watched me, yes, I'm always excited to come on here. So I always lose my shit as soon as I push live. It is what it is. But for the one or two that are watching me, if you're watching me, let me know what you think. Should I use the Rumble Studio or should I keep using this? I mean, I got a discounted price. I think it's $14 a month. I can do that. You know what I'm saying? I kind of do like it. I just figured out today that I can actually pre-schedule shows. I didn't know I could do that with this app. I did it with Rumble. But the thing about Rumble is nobody really watches me, so I guess it doesn't matter if I schedule it. But I do like the way this is set up. More customization, as you can say, as opposed to with Rumble. You can't really customize it as much, like the little window instead of the whole screen. Watch my whole face. I don't want to see myself that much. I'm not that vain. I'm just saying, insanity. Your daily dose. We can do this every day. I could save this shit every day because it's insanity. It really is. One of my coworkers yesterday, she was like, man, you never have nothing not to say about liberals. I was like, well, blame them. It's their fault, not mine. I can't help it. They're stupid. It's because they're crazy and insane. And I got proof. Just saying, from another stupid week. It is.
This is major breaking news. Donald Trump has advised the Housing Department, the U.S. Housing Department, which is known as HUD, H-U-D, who's in charge of Section 8 households, to now perform a full-fledged audit of all residents in the United States for citizenship and will begin evicting families that are mixed status. For example, if you are a parent who is an illegal immigrant, but you receive Section 8 through your children for housing, you can be evicted.
Wow, winning.
This is part of an audit Donald Trump has instructed to Scott Turner. This would mean that 2.3 million families are at risk of being evicted if one or more family members do not have citizenship in that household. Please share this. You can follow for more news updates, but you don't have to.
Aren't you aware that JD Vance will then be president, and won't that just be as bad? This doesn't solve anything. Yes, it does.
Okay, The Voice. Oh my God. It's screeching. It hurts my ears.
Yes, it does. It does solve something for me, for my soul. It will solve something fundamental, and that something is him being alive. I just want something because it'll feel good. I want to feel good. Is that a crime? I want to feel good. I'm like, JD Vance, I'm sorry, we can bully that man out of office. Give us 10 weeks.
Apparently, I'm not the only one that feels that way. It's just that voice. Insanity. I'm telling you, just all goes apart. You can almost, it's like George Carlin said last week in one of my videos, stupid. Why are they so stupid or whatever it is? You know, that's the only explanation I have other than insanity. Insane. You know, what's the meaning of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result. And apparently they don't learn. And you can always, you know, as I said, description. You can identify a liberal a lot by their appearance. It's a fact. Sometimes you may be a little, you know, like, I don't know. But a lot of times it's true. Example. At one of my jobs yesterday, we had a guy doing our computer system, and he screwed up, but whatever. And he had a shirt on. And it said, what was it, deny, or I forgot what it was. But, you know, I was curious. It had the bear from back in the day, only forest fires, whatever, prevent forest fires. And it had pictures of other stuff. And I was like, what does that mean, bro? Well, you know, the current administration, right there. Right there. I was like, oh, crap. Oh, liberal. And he's going to say something stupid. He did. Because obviously the talking points that the liberal media pointed out to him, he memorized that shit. And I was like, wow. You know, I don't actually have conversations with a lot of liberals because they piss me off. And I like to respectfully disrespect them because it is what it is. And I love doing that shit. But anyway, they're stupid. And this guy just sounded like an idiot. And it's funny because the guy that I work with, and one of the other chefs, he's not really a political person. But when the guy walked away, he was like, he knows what my political views are. And he was like, oh, I hear what you're saying. I was like, I'm just saying, poop on his face. Anyway, if you're a brand new on here, breaking news. No, unless you haven't seen it, then it's breaking to you. What this guy does, I share stuff, other people's conservative channels, funny shit, making fun of the left. But it's not just that. Understand that this is common sense and random shit. So common sense isn't just in politics, it's in life. So sometimes I'll talk about martial arts, self-defense. Sometimes I'll talk about movies. Sometimes I'll tell you what my likes are and share them with you and tell them and try to spoil shit when it comes to movies and shows because I'm called a spoiler at work. When people want to know what's happening with a show or movie, they ask me. Sometimes I slip out. Just one time I did it twice. Yeah, just saying. Anyway, Meme the Left, another channel I like to share because they're easy. Just saying. Got it backwards. Ridiculousity first. Yeah. Why is this guy still relevant? David Hogg. Really? Who gives a shit what this piece of shit has to say? Why is he still relevant? I'll never get.
I work in HIV normally, and I'll tell you that, you know, I always say that I've never made an HIV diagnosis in someone that hasn't somehow related to stigma. I think Mpox is the same. So really, stigma tends to be a barrier to testing, a barrier to vaccination. And so, you know, really addressing stigma intentionally and making sure that we get the word out in a way that supports people's joy as opposed to, you know, calling them risky. So I think, you know, one of the things to think about is that, you know, one person's idea of risk is another person's idea of a great festival or Friday night, for that matter. So we have to sort of embrace that with joy and make sure that folks know how to keep themselves safe.
That is without a doubt the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You are a idiot.
One person's idea of risk is another person's idea of a great festival or Friday night.
What have we done? This is wrong.
I won't lie to you. You know, just so you know, this is my reaction. When it comes to Meme the Left and Ridiculosity, this is Ridiculosity. The next one's Meme the Left. The channels, I just love sharing their shit because they're hilarious. As I said, the left is easy to make fun of. But you're gonna get my reaction too. When you see those headlines, you gotta read some of those things. I mean, it's just ridiculous. This is why it's called Ridiculosity. The headlines are sickening, some of them. And it was funny the other day when Rosie O'Donnell was like, MAGA supporter, white supremacist, same bullshit. And she was totally wrong. I love it. That's how liberals do it, though. They talk shit without facts, opinions, and you're all stupid. There, I said it. Meme the Left now. Check it out. They're funny. Ooh. Yep.
Wipe your own tears, and for God's sakes, stop whining. It's embarrassing. That what I was doing had value.
Don't let the doorknob hit you with a good Lord split you.
I have a beautiful thing.
No one is above the law, even a former president. Senator Schiff and Attorney General James deny any wrongdoing. Now, in their cases, the president appears to be personally motivated. In the case of Ms. Cook, it appears to be part of his attempt to gain control over the Fed.
Because it's easy. No, I mean really easy. It's a term I like to use, and I've used before. You may have heard me. Cornball. These people are freaking cornballs. it's insane. Not just stupid, because they are, but insane. I got a joke to tell you. Why not? One of my coworkers told me this joke a couple months ago that it took me a second to get, even though I'm Spanish. Explain that. But I kind of edited it, and I thought it was funny. There was a Spanish magician. And every time he did a trick, he did this countdown in Spanish. Because, he's Spanish. So in his last trick of the night, the grand finale, he started his countdown. Uno. Dos. Then ice disappeared him without a trace. That's not how it went, but I edited it to add ice because I'm an idiot. Yeah. Anyway, I told that joke yesterday to somebody else, and he didn't know it was edited, and he was just dying laughing. I guess I laughed a little more than I should have. Oh, what did I do here? Hold on a second. I got to change the video because it is a clown world. link in the description. The creator, I think it's Mike and everyone. I copied some of his videos because they're funny as shit. Like his stuff is actually funny as hell, especially the stuff that he shares. And this is insanity, not just insanity.
I know a trans woman who has had her downstairs done, and she's told me about dates that she's gone on with men. With these men, she has done everything that there is to do, and the men didn't know. First and foremost, that is a testament to modern medicine that it's even possible for that to happen. But it's also an interesting quandary, because at that point, what are you even really disclosing? What is there to disclose? There's no deception. When you're dating someone, you don't have to disclose every single thing about yourself up front. That's the fun of it. You get to learn about someone new. If you're in a relationship with someone for long enough, of course it's going to come up, probably sooner rather than later. When you trust someone, you can tell them. I personally put it on my dating profile, but not everyone does, and that's okay. Our transness is not the only thing that defines us. I'm currently in electrolysis. You can't see it, but I'm getting zapped follicle by follicle. It is deeply painful. I do this every single week for multiple hours. For anyone who's interested in switching from a blank to a blank, this is what it takes. So yes, I am going to do it, and I'm very excited about it. I've always been interested in women, but when I did transition, I became more open to dating a non-binary person, specifically a feminine non-binary person, because not all non-binary people are androgynous.
What does any of that mean? Honestly, we don't know.
This is horrible. Why did I pause it here? Okay. I said this yesterday to one of my coworkers. I respect when a trainee, as Nancy May says I am transsexual. I transitioned. I'm gay. Both, bi, whatever it may be. But when they say I am transsexual, I respect that. What I don't respect is when they say I am a woman and expect you to actually believe them and call you homogenistic, racist, pig, anti-everything. That I respect it if you say you're trans. But once you say you're a woman, insanity. Anyway, I'll get out of here. Watch the rest.
Meanwhile.
But back to the question, I had for my entire career been an advocate for the LGBTQ community through my work in HIV, through my work in MPOX. I find it outrageous that this administration is trying to erase transgender people.
No, they're not. But of course, look what network he's on. One of the acronyms.
Specifically use the term pregnant people, and very specific.
Pregnant people. There you go. Insanity. Effing crazy.
I added my pronouns at the end of my resignation letter to make the point that I am defying this terrible strategy at trying to erase people and not allowing them to express their identities. So I accept the note from the press secretary and counter that with, I don't care.
He's a fan. Maybe the courts will help us. I want, even though I know it may not happen, the cabinet that he's appointed, a bunch of his sycophants who probably won't do what I would recommend. It is time to call for Article 25 of the Constitution of the United States of America to determine his unfitness, to determine that something's wrong with this president. And I would suggest that we move very aggressively to talk about the danger to this country and to our democracy and not play around with this, because this is absolutely one of the most destructive things that this president could do.
Congresswoman Wasserman Schultz, I mean, your take on this, because I think it's jarring to hear Congresswoman Waters say it's time for the 25th Amendment, but I mean, presidents have been impeached for much less.
And there seems to be no sign of intelligent life anywhere.
I had to write to the NIH to ask if I should get a new COVID vaccine because they're taking away the COVID vaccine.
By the way, the hair, dad gave away. I mean, seriously. Again, I ask, where are they going to tell them to dye their hair a certain color? I'm just saying.
Soon. They're talking about it, but they're talking about doing it fast. So I want to get the vaccine before they do that. And they said, yes, I should definitely get the vaccine. That will be my 7th COVID vaccine. I have gotten 7 COVID vaccines. I had to go through my history because my doctor's what is she? What's her official title? I don't know. She's a doctor, but she's not like my doctor. She's like down here. Asked me if I got my RSV, and I honestly couldn't remember. So I was trying to look it up in CVS, and I couldn't find it in CVS. And so I had to go through my conversation history with Kat to find it. But then CVS would load it, and I found that I got it on Valentine's Day. And I'm just looking at my history of vaccinations, and it's crazy. This would make, if an anti-vaxxer saw the list that I'm looking at right now of vaccinations, I have COVID, flu, RSV, flu, HIV, polio, Tdap, MMR, shingles, hepatitis A, flu.
Wow.
That's crazy. Oh, polio. That's so many. HPV. Yeah. So many. They would just freak out.
What did you say?
That will be my 7th COVID vaccine.
Are you fucking retarded? What the hell's the matter with you?
You think that's normal? 7 vaccines. What is she watching to tell her that that's okay? What do you think? The acronyms. ABC, CNN, CNBC, D, douche, bags, CBS. I could go on all day. The acronyms, as I call them. The insane asylum. With poop on their faces. Love it. There's more. Insanity. Yeah. Just saying.
And you think you're better than me because you didn't vote for Trump? Yes. Yes, I do. I'm 100% better than you. I have a moral compass. I'm clearly more intelligent. I have not only media literacy, but just...
I say again, the hair color, dead giveaway. Plus she's fat.
Literacy.
I've got more sins than a Chinese phone book.
If you seriously believe the 13% of the population and 50% of the crime, you need to get fact-checked, and I'm about to do it to you. In 2016, white people committed 70% of the convicted crime, and black people only committed 27%. Then in 2017, white people committed 68% of the reported crime, and black people only committed 26% of it. And in 2024, white people committed 53% of the reported crime, while black people only committed 25%. So this narrative on 13% of the population, 50% of the crime is wrong. You know who actually commits 50% of the crime? White people.
Bullshit.
But guess what stat black people are 13% of the population and 50% in? Exonerations. You know, when they're wrongly convicted. All you're doing by spreading this fake fact is allowing more people to profile and be racist towards black people. You know what's the highest percentage of people who are victims of white people? Black people. And if you look at all the shootings, guess who are the shooters? White dudes. So let's all think long and hard on who actually commits 50% of the crime.
You know, it's amazing. You are 100% wrong. I mean, nothing you've said has been right.
Okay, before I go to this crazy person here, that guy is going to be the minority leader in the future for the Democratic Party. I'm just saying. And he's going to look like a fool like every single one of them do now.
Put my mask on, wear it everywhere I go. Everywhere I go. Everywhere I go.
The hair color again.
Put your mask on.
Well, I'm going to take this damn mask off.
To the white bitch that has said something about slap your mama, the seasoning, y'all are always inserting yourself in places where no one fucking wants y'all raggedy, musty, milk-faced looking asses, bitch. We don't fucking want you around us. Stop giving us your opinion about shit that we got going on, okay? We don't want you around us. We don't give a fuck about your opinion. We don't give a fuck what you do. You are unseasoned, unfiltered, and uncultured. Bitch, you're paste. Go somewhere. Jump off of a fucking cliff. Eradicate you guys yourselves. Nobody likes you. Nobody wants to be the fuck around you. White fatigue is so fucking real. Bitch, we are tired of you guys. You white people give one thing to society, and that's hatred. You guys have taught everybody else how not to like you or anything that you represent. Okay? That is why everything that's cultured bothers y'all unseasoned, unfiltered, milk-made, pasty, mayonnaise-filled asses.
Bitch, you racist.
First of all, it's good to see you in the new year. You know, no one could have told me that when I went down to Austin, now it looks like a little bit over a year ago, that I would be running for Congress.
Baby, because these people, they are crazy. Because they always talk about how Christian they is. Yeah, I don't know how many of them on that side are getting divorced because they getting caught up sleeping with their co-workers, staffers, interns, all the things. Yeah, you ain't got to believe me. Just go Google. You'll find some of it. I'm telling you. And the wives is being messy and petty. They putting it in.
I'm telling you, I'm going to drop the N-bomb if I have to.
2, 10, 12, 15. Oops, stepping on it's black. Anyway.
Am I the only one that can't stand that woman's voice? Am I the only one that sees through her bullshit facade of acting like she's ghetto? We know this. Conservatives, we know this. She's fake. Yeah, it is what it is. Just saying. Yeah, I'm a character. I can't help it. It's funny. But anyway, why do you think all this is happening? Why do you think these assholes on the left are getting away with what they're getting away with? Because society, sorry, I gotta say it, is stupid. Why? Why are we dumb? Why are we dumbing down? Well, insanity creates stupidity. Stupidity is insanity. Just saying. But check this out. Link to the full video will be in the description. This is pretty interesting. I just put a few minutes of it because I don't want it to play all day. But it's very interesting. I think you should watch this. It's pretty cool.
What if I told you that in today's world, stupidity isn't just tolerated, it's celebrated? That being loud, shallow, and proudly ignorant has somehow become a fast track to fame, influence, and even leadership. Think about it. When was the last time deep thinking trended? When did nuance go viral? We live in a culture where the most meaningless personalities dominate the spotlight, where 15-second clips get more engagement than thoughtful arguments, and where millions flock to content that requires zero effort to understand and even less effort to question. This isn't just a cultural phase, it's a systemic shift. We've created a world where empty entertainment is rewarded over intellectual substance, where clever memes replace logical discourse, and where fast, flashy content is more valuable than reflective conversation. Once, public dialogue was a space for debate, dissent, and the wrestling of ideas. Now it's a battlefield of slogans, reactions, and short-form distractions. We scroll past philosophy to get to pranks. We skip expert insight to chase trending audio. And the tragedy is, this isn't just happening by accident. Popular culture no longer merely reflects our values, it actively shapes them. The media we consume, the influencers we elevate, the content we reward, all of it is teaching us something. That it's better to be likable than informed, faster to be emotional than rational, and more profitable to be shallow than serious. The algorithm doesn't care about truth, it cares about attention. The result is a civilization trained not to think, but to react, not to question, but to consume. And over time, that consumption rewires what we find meaningful, what we respect, and ultimately, who we listen to. You might think this is harmless, just entertainment, just distraction. But when cultural incentives reward stupidity, stupidity becomes strategic. People learn quickly that dumbing down, oversimplifying, or even faking ignorance can be a viable brand. YouTube thumbnails scream with exaggerated faces. Politicians speak in catchphrases instead of policy. Viral posts are rarely accurate, but always loud. And all of this signals to the next generation that complexity is boring and intelligence is elitist. So ask yourself, when did we start confusing noise with knowledge? When did we start mistaking visibility for value? The truth is unsettling. We live in a system that doesn't just tolerate stupidity, it monetizes it, promotes it, and glorifies it.
Now, tell me that shit ain't facts. Because facts don't have opinions, and it is what it is. Thank you for watching, everyone. I really do appreciate the one person that's watching me right now. Love you, guy, gal, two genders, whatever it may be. Yeah, I got a little Band-Aid. Got cut at work yesterday. You know, the little, if you've worked in a kitchen, the plastic cellophane wrap has that sharp thing for some reason. As much as I can't stand the other things that zip, and they're safer, I like the ones that cut better. They're dangerous as shit. I mean, holy crap. You just touch it and it started bleeding. I hate those things. But yeah, you know, because as I said, I am a chef in 3 part-time jobs. One of them's are now full-time because somebody got fired the other day for being a douchebag. But anyway, a wannabe pretend rhino. In real, believe it or not, you know, rhinos exist even in non-politician environments. You know, acting like a Second Amendment advocate and I own this, I own that, and me, even though I've lost my Second Amendment, I know my shit when it comes to our firearms. So I mentioned a few things, and he was totally clueless, and I was like, this guy's just talking shit. He's a wannabe. But anyway, I don't know why I shared that. But as I said, love you guys. Thanks for sharing. I appreciate you watching. If you want to help the channel out, please do so. Link will be in the description. And insanity is stupidity. Oh, wait a second. Sorry. There it is. Okay. Wanted to get rid of that. But yeah, anyway, what do you think? Should I keep using this? As I said, it's only like $13, $14 a month. I can afford that. If you like this better, let me know. Yeah, I'm saying, write me, like me, my show, subscribe, follow, share, do what you got to do. As I said, I do go live Monday through Saturday at 6:30 a.m. I know it's early, but get notified. So if you're up and early and you're drinking coffee, let's have coffee together and talk shit. And if you're a liberal and you're still watching, I am surprised you're still there and haven't offed yourself. I'm just saying. Anyway, not condoning anything. So please, PC book and wherever I post this, stop your bullshit. It's 2025. And please, people with masks, stop it. I'm just saying, you guys are stupid. Yeah. Anyway, have a great day. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Laters! Yeah, I don't know why I do that every day. It is what it is.